They've been trying to get us on TV for years. No one can figure it out.
No one can figure it out. Everyone seems to think there's something for Opie and Anthony to do on television. We don't want to do putting cameras here in the studio because Howard's doing that. Imus is doing it now.
We would do that if we could get our own spin. You know, if we could come up with our own spin.
Yeah, if there's something a little more unique about it.
But no one has been able to figure out that spin yet.
I'd rather just have the cameras like that and actually do it and put it on the web because I really don't see that as a fucking television show. I see it as a web thing. So people could punch in, check the show out as we're doing it live. You don't have to worry about editing things down to find the exciting moments and do that for a show. You pop in, all 4 hours are online. You can watch when you want. Something's happening, you can pop in. Things like that.
We've been trying to turn these cameras on that are in the studio. Washington watches us every day. And we're like, well, if you guys are watching us, let the fucking fans watch the show.
Yeah, just give them the URL.
It's overhead cameras. It's no big deal. You're not going to see anything too crazy. But, you know, hardcore fans would love to check in and see, oh, wow, that's where Ann sits. That's where Bill Burr is sitting.
And if we have something going on the console here,
whatever,
they could get in.
Yeah, but for some reason, we just can't figure that out.
Yeah.
One of the many things we still are trying to figure out.
Eating a bagel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a bagel. Is that sesame?
It'll be as exciting as watching, paint drying. But still, there is an audience for it. People would check it out on the Internet.
But that's why I think it's more conducive to online than a television show.
Right. But our agent is just obsessed with this one production company. I don't even want to mention the name of these guys because they
had a good idea for you?
Because they have such problems that I don't want to be the one that destroys them.
Yeah.
They got such problems. And 2-3 years ago, we met with these guys because we had nothing else and we were reaching for anything. We had a really high-powered meeting with Comedy Central. We were supposed to take over the Man Show. We were about to negotiate with those guys, and then Viacom,
same company that owned us for the radio. They're the ones that threw us off the air, so they pretty much didn't want us
on any of their properties.
Yeah.
And they own Comedy Central.
To this day, by the way, that's still going on.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want us on any of their properties.
Although Spike TV called yesterday, so we'll have to see what that's about. And I think that's still part of the Viacom family. I'm not positive. So we met with this low-level production company about 2 years ago. They had this idea that the more and more Ant and I looked at it, it's basically Mythbusters. It's Mythbusters.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the Mythbusters.
And 2 or 3 years ago, Mythbusters didn't find an audience yet. Mythbusters is a very big show now.
Yeah.
And we've had the guys on a few times. We love
Adam
them.
and Jamie, very
fun
fun
show.
guys.
We love having them on the radio. But they're pitching this show that is basically Mythbusters. And it was the same show they were pitching 2 years ago. And now they're revisiting it. And our agent got us involved with these guys again. So we're supposed to meet at their office yesterday at, 2 o'clock or whatever, so we show up. Anthony's already upstairs. I'm down on the sidewalk waiting for Anthony so we could, talk it over a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we know we're going into a disastrous situation.
Now, I just noticed. Now, we had been to other meetings. We went to a meeting at Telepictures, which you see the logo come up after a lot of the talk shows. A lot of the afternoon talk shows Telepictures did. I'm sure you've seen their logo. We've been to meetings there. When you walk into the Telepictures offices, the hallways are lined with those giant photos of the personalities that they handle.
Like
the shows that they have on.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie was part of Telepictures.
Some of those...
Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones was one of them?
Telepictures.
All those judge shows.
All the judge shows.
Judge, whatever, schmuck.
Yeah. They were all just lined, the hallways lined, all the offices, a lot of movement going on. People walking around the hallways.
The latest furniture, well designed.
All modern looking.
And tip-top shape.
Tip-top, Opie.
All sorts of awards, like awards I don't even know.
There were Emmys.
Clios and Emmys.
Emmys.
Gold records.
Gold records,
and they don't even do recordings.
I saw an Oscar in the corner. I don't even know what that meant.
Have we gotten the point of professionalism across?
Yes, you have.
With this scene we're painting
of
here?
a top-notch TV production house?
Right.
Fake foliage in the corner.
Of course. The cleaned leaves. A little maid comes in every day and wipes the leaves down.
Sure.
Well, we walked in yesterday.
Well, can I pick up from? So I find out that you're already upstairs, and I'm like, all right. So I go in what looks like a broken down warehouse, basically. Just it was like a warehouse building.
Dude, that elevator was a one-person elevator.
Well, I was in there with.
It was so small.
I was in there with another guy, and I got to the floor.
Yeah.
And I just sat there waiting for the door to open. He goes, "Oh no,
you got to push it.
You got to push the door open." I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
It's one of these elevators that like
it's a freight elevator, basically, that they're making believe is a regular elevator because this is the only space they could find in New York.
But it was
what
small.
I'm trying to say here.
It wasn't even a freight elevator where you could fit freight in it. There were 2 other people in there with me, and I swear to God, we were all touching each other.
Yeah,
it was
Anthony's
that
officially
small.
gay now.
Did they have like pictures of like snuff films
right.
that they had done on the walls?
So when you walk down the hallways, yeah, I remember this bitch. We offed her in Utah.
So I go through the door that is now the reception area, and it's all boxes and the secretary that's doing nothing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, there was. I saw nothing on the walls except dirt. I noticed. Now people might joke that I'm germaphobe or clean freak or something. I'm absolutely not.
No, Anthony's not.
I'm really not. This place was so unkempt. It was just the floor looked like it hadn't been vacuumed ever. There was just dust from like the ceiling on it, like ceiling tile particles on the floor. Everything was covered in a layer of dust. Like it had just been sitting there. The lamps on the desks, completely dust-ridden. Everything, dust everywhere. Old wood paneling. It just looked like an old, like a boiler room.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know where
you know how boiler room is like the low level of the stock market. Basically?
They set up banks of phones in these places until the cops come and arrest everybody,
and then they
just
go to
sell them bad stock.
And then they go somewhere else.
And then they run off and set up camp somewhere else. But you're not worried about making the place look good.
Everything's written on like flash paper.
Yeah, so they can dump it in the waste paper basket and set it on fire.
So Ant's in there in the office getting the big pitch from the head muckety muck.
Yeah.
And his minions. And I walk into the office and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, this guy goes, sit down. And he points to this chair. That's like, how can you explain it?
It was like
see-through glass type of chair.
It was a chair you would see on Ronan Martin's Laugh-In, or
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange.
Very mid-70s.
It was plexi. It was like, Lexan, whatever that see-through stuff is, completely see-through, and that round molded modular, cut out of an eggshell-shaped thing type.
Taken from the set of Rhoda.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You're Phil knows.
And that egg cut out of an egg-shaped thing is sitting on a trumpet bell type pedestal that's sitting on the floor, and it swivels.
And this guy is pointing to the chair, very proud of the chair, going, sit down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he so excited about the chair?
Take a seat, me droogies.
So I sit down.
Food, all right.
So I sit down in the chair.
Don't call me dim no more.
And the guy goes, you know what you're sitting in? I'm like, no. Well, when we produced Puff Daddy's Making the Band or whatever that show was,
yeah,
number 2.
I don't even.
It wasn't even the original. We bought $100,000 worth of furniture, and they were going to just throw it all out. So we decided to take some of it back to the office. So that chair was used in the production of Making of the Band 2.
Ooh, now I'm flattered.
He's been bragging about the Making of the Band thing for many years. We cannot find any proof that he ever worked on the show, which is creepy.
I didn't even know that show came out yet.
Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Dude, the killer thing about what they do or don't do or anything came when Opie asks them, hey, what are you working on now? Because when you go into a production company, you kind of like to know, if you can't see the pictures on the wall of all the personalities and all the shows, what they're working on at the moment. And the answer that came out,
He said he's doing a reality show based on a.
It's an equestrian reality show.
Equestrian reality show.
It's a reality show, people, based on horseback riding.
Horseback riding, and then
anything
like
else?
Olympic horseback riding,
And
Olympic style.
What were
horseback.
some of the other things he said?
The untitled Donnie Most project.
And then he's doing something for the Travel
Yeah,
Channel.
its tentative title is "I Still Got It."
Then there's something about.
Where'd it go? Donnie Most in the 90s.
And what were some of the other shows? The Travel Channel, where you.
It was something for the Travel Channel where you take somebody's job. It's sort of a glamour job for a week. Was that
Yeah,
one.
and then he's just like, the last year has just been crazy. Everything has come together. But he's mentioning these shows, and we're like, holy shit, he's still doing nothing.
Like, what?
And then The Office had absolutely no hint that this company has been successful on any level. No hint. Right?
Because
Yeah.
they're so busy with all the successful shows.
All
they
these
don't
things
have time
coming
to
up.
hire cleaning people or
No.
put photos up.
So we're ready to go.
You know, if you the whole point I was making about the dirty office is that if you have an office where professional people are coming in, celebrities, agents, management, to get shows off the ground, whatever, you would think you would want to make a nice presentation, right? You would think it would be vacuumed and the lamps would be shined or something, just something, and that just wasn't the impression that they were giving off.
It was
here.
very obvious that they needed us way more than we needed them, and we're gonna make that point in a second. But so now we're going over the pitch because we're going over to A&E, and that's the only reason we took this meeting because we're like, well, he did get a meeting with A&E. That's kind of strange. Something's got to be going on. Maybe he's got his shit together since the last time we talked to this guy 2-3 years ago. So we're getting the pitch together in our heads because we're going to have to present this to the bigwigs at A&E. And his idea is Mythbusters meets Jackass.
Good Lord.
How do you combine those two shows?
Well,
Well,
it's like Mythbusters without any of the interesting science that goes along with it. Yeah, it's like Mythbusters
with lawsuits.
Right. With lawyers and loss of finances being involved.
Right.
Just like Mythbusters, only you spend some time in court also defending yourself.
What myths were you guys going to bust? What was like the
Well,
example?
that's a good question, Bill, because, basically the pitch of the show is like, you're a bunch of guys and you always wondered things like, I wonder how it would be to, like, ram a car into an above-ground pool, let's say.
Right.
You know?
What would that be like?
What would that be like? But see, now that we have a TV show, we could see how that's like.
Now we can all get
and we
together.
do it.
Me, Opie, Jimmy, Bill, you're cordially invited.
Can I sit in that day?
You can sit in.
I'll be in the pool.
You can be in the pool with little swimmies on, and we'll ram the car into
And this
it.
is what we hear a lot.
Now, what myth are you?
There's no myth. It's just stupid things that you wondered about.
There's
know?
no myth.
How
It
long does
just
a car
happens.
last if you do put sugar in the gas tank? That type of crap. And we, because Aunt and I have such great chemistry and we're brilliant. This is all stuff.
We're magic.
This was all stuff they were telling us. I'm not trying to be a cocky asshole today. The chemistry between you guys. You guys are some of the funniest guys ever. You guys will just do what you do.
Well, that's how they fill it. They fill in the hole by
Right.
appealing to
Yeah.
your ego.
There's a huge hole in this pitch that exactly is filled
We
in
have a
with
concept,
with
yeah.
you guys will just do what you do best.
We have a concept, a car, an above-the-ground pool, car, drive into pool.
Go.
All right, all that other time for the hour, you guys just do what you do.
So then I'm starting to ask the hard questions. I'm like, well, do you have a list of things that you were thinking we should do on this show? He goes, oh my God, I got hundreds. And then he goes, Jamie, or whoever his assistant was, go get the list. And this kid comes back with a 3-page treatment for the show that lists only 4 ideas. And that's not what I was asking for. I was asking for the big list to get a feel if this guy is even creative enough to come up with interesting things that we could show on TV.
After a year, you'd probably come up with a lot of ideas, I would think.
He still has about 4. One of his big ones is to drop a piano through a house.
through the roof of a house. Look, Derek just went. I couldn't hear him. I saw his hands go up and saw his mouth go, what? I swear, that's everyone's reaction to this, including the fine folks at A&E.
That's going to be one of those shows where they like the whole half hour before they drop the piano into the house, they just keep raising it up. Yeah. Now, what do you think's going to be happening here?
That's a pretty heavy piano, Opie.
What about that? I mean, it's funny. I can't even come up with anything funny about it. It's so fucking awful.
And that is what the people at A&E were picking up on.
I have to find this one. Just keep talking, Ant, about whatever.
All right. Well, we meet with them at their offices, their dirty offices, and
Please
then
save the limo for me.
Well, that's where I was going.
I know.
We're ready to go to the big A&E meeting.
I just got to find this one.
We all head downstairs and
hold on before you head downstairs. And
all right. Well, now I'm stuck in the stairwell.
No, well,
what do I do?
Go back upstairs in the office and explain to
Bill.
The
door closed behind me, and now it's locked.
I understand,
but what do I do?
Explain. I think I might have found it. Explain to Bill what this guy thought.
What it's like to be locked out.
Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. This is an actual email.
Someone open this.
Anthony,
right,
just do what you
do. All right,
just do what you do.
All right. Listen, we're back in the office. We're back in the office.
All right.
Focus.
Back in.
And I found the email on my Crackberry here that was actually sent to me before the meeting. It says, dude, totally pumped, ready for a big, and then it's a question, ready for a big picture that happens within 2 to 3 years, as in a movie. And this is his idea. We make a killer, culty, hilarious show. The DVD home video sales go nuts after year one. Think Dave Chappelle. He only did $60 million after his first season. $60 million.
How many people are going to want to see the piano over and over again?
Right.
So you're gonna be buying the DVD.
So he's like,
you're gonna want to revisit that moment,
right.
Of course, and then think of the
extras,
fingertips. The stuff that wasn't aired. All the hilarity that was on the air. There's maybe 2 more hours for every segment that wasn't that we could do it behind the scenes, the DVD extras.
Right.
So commenting on them raising the piano up,
maybe hitting
minutes.
a key.
Oh yeah. So here it is again. We make a killer, culty, hilarious show. Then it goes to DVD, and we sell like Dave Chappelle did. Only $60 million. That's no problem.
We'll blow up right past that.
And then about mid-year 2 or late year 2, we do the feature movie picture deal. Think Jackass, what they did. That movie only cost $4 million to make, and it did $150 million worldwide, and it still rents out the wazoo. And then he writes, "Is that a great freaking scenario? Hey, it could happen. See you Tuesday." So
they call me the wazoo.
So he's getting us all pumped in the office because now we have to go over to A&E and punch this horse shit. This horse shit. Because now we're stuck, and I'm thinking I'm like, we're missing something here. He got a meeting with A&E. This guy has no business getting meetings with A&E. Okay?
That's horrendous.
In my opinion, right?
Oh yeah.
That whole BlackBerry thing. I mean, you're just predicting like success. Okay, we make a movie, right?
Yeah.
And it's so fucking huge that we make another one, and then another one after that. Like the Back to the Future trilogy.
Right. Right.
Isn't that amazing? There's no idea there.
No. I see us doing all 3 at once. To save money, like Lord of the Rings. We will do all 3 of them at the same time, thus saving money, and then just making... I'm seeing gazillions of dollars, if I may use gazillions.
Picture this scenario. You're playing wiffle ball in Central Park. A member of the Yankee organization is walking by. They need a first baseman. Just go with me on this one.
This is.
Then you sign with them. You make zillions of dollars. You're fucking Jessica Alba.
Right.
We get endorsement deals now. We go for the sneaker endorsements.
Could happen. See it, too.
Now you're having trouble with steroids. But we get you off of that. And it works out as a positive. Now you're doing the talk shows.
Yeah.
And people find out you could act. Now you're cast in Die Hard 7. That's what he's doing.
Dude, hear me out. This isn't too crazy. Hear me.
So the whole time we're like...
The head of the studio dies. You're wearing a suit that day. So they give you the job. It could happen. It happens, man.
Now you're making the movies. That's right. You're making the call. Con, we're flying you off to Con.
So we're just...
And, dude, you're set for life.
We're just sitting there going, something doesn't make sense. This guy's full of shit. But he got a meeting with A&E. You got to go to A&E.
Yeah, that was the sticking point with us, is the fact that, all right, there is a meeting, though, with A&E.
Remember,
there is a channel.
Remember, by the way...
It is a channel. I have passed by it.
Remember, by the way, when we were on commercial radio, we took many meetings with Telepictures. Key to this story coming up. So we leave the office finally to go over to A&E. And waiting outside for Anthony and I is a limo because they're treating us like stars today.
It's the limo. That's short for limousine.
That's
people.
right. Limousine. You hear that, Derek? Limousine.
That's right.
Only the best for the boys. So we go downstairs, right? There's a driver that just doesn't want to be there. He's like in between, driving kids around, to proms and stuff. This guy is just like a low level limousine guy.
But it's a limo.
Well, it's a limo, and that's fine. I'm not trying to trash the people out there, but if this guy's like trying to treat us like rock stars, there's you could go up many levels even in the limousine.
It's a dirty cummerbund.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's got like a little
dried out corsage.
I love when you see all those whores standing like through the sunroof going,
yeah.
Woo! I always want to see them like rear end the car in front of them, just
chop them in half.
Because they're always trying to come off like that's actually their car.
Right.
Because that's how like Bill Gates and them act when they're in a limo. Bill Gates
they're going to a big meeting somewhere, hanging out the sunroof of his limo. Yes.
So the guy has a flask in the front seat in between jobs.
I drive people everywhere.
But hey, they're treating us right.
Yeah.
They're treating us right. They ordered the limo to make us feel good as we go over to A&E.
Yeah, we get in.
So we get in, 7 or 8 of us in a limousine that fits maybe 3 people comfortably.
Oh, it's not a super stretch.
No, it's
where you can actually fit 7 people.
It's a stretch Dodge Omni.
It's
and
a Ford Taurus. It was 2 seats facing each other.
Right.
Which is that type of limo that is the smallest kind of limo.
Our knees were pretty
It's good
much...
for 4 people, that type of limo. If you got 4 people and want a limo, that's the one you get.
And there was, I think, 7 people.
7 people.
Yeah, I was across from Anthony. Our knees were touching. And then I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I pulled the door closed, and the handle falls off.
The handle comes off in Opie's hand.
I'm like...
I think I took this limo.
I'm like, holy
It was so
shit.
funny. We just looked at each other like, okay, this is great.
Dirty butterscotch interior.
Right. The whole way over, the guy's getting pumped because it's showtime, man. He's like, "Are you guys pumped? Are you guys ready?" And I we're just playing this out at this point to get.
Telly Savalas used to use this limo when he used to go over to the set on Kojak.
Right.
It's a Delta 88 stretch.
We're on 2 levels at this point. This guy's getting pumped for the meeting, and Anthony and I are just going through it because we know it'll make for good radio today. That's all.
Yeah. And
at this point, I know this is going to just be a disaster.
And we are headed over to A&E.
A&E.
I am what they call, I am an optimist. I am not a bridge burner by no means. I like playing things out to see where they're going to go. And if you're going to make some relationships in this business that we call show, Opie, I like to do it with a smile and good spirits.
You're professional.
So when we meet people at A&E or Telepictures or anything, regardless of who is taking us there or the mood we're in, they will get a smile, a greeting, and some humorous anecdotes
They call
from
me
this
the
person.
optimist.
I'm the optimist, hey! Beaner!
And A&E doing some fine things on TV lately, so... So we did the security thing already earlier, and we go upstairs, and we meet the people that we have to now pitch this horse shit to.
And again, as always, they're always very nice, very cordial, nice people that you meet at these things.
I believe it was Nancy, right?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah.
And a guy named Michael.
Michael
from Telepictures.
Michael was working at Telepictures during our meetings over there.
He's a huge fan of the Opie and Anthony
Great
program.
guy, huge fan of the show.
He was
understands
the one
us, what we do.
He was the one that dragged us into Telepictures for a bunch of meetings as they try to figure out a TV show for us. He has since left Telepictures about a year ago. Now works for A&E. That's the reason we were meeting with A&E, not because of this idea.
Not because of the idea or the guy.
Because we couldn't figure out why. Because something didn't match up. It was Michael who heard about this pitch that had Opie and Anthony as a host, and he goes, Opie and Anthony, holy crap, these guys are really talented, and we've been trying to figure out something for them for years at Telepictures. We should at least meet with them.
Yeah, at least meet with them. So we walk into that huge generic conference room thing.
Do they have like those precinct desks that are made out of nothing but metal?
This was always so was the conference room. It was the big wooden table with those little conference call things in the middle and a lot of chairs. The little screen up on the wall for the PowerPoint presentation things, and your basic conference room, glass wall out to the hallway, so make sure no shenanigans are happening there if you're the brass. And we sit down, and the first thing I notice is the woman, Nancy.
Yeah,
she's in charge.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one running this show.
She's the one you got to impress.
She's the one that has to be impressed. And she's sitting there, and the first little inkling I got that there was a problem was the fact that she looked at one of the other guys, I'm not sure which one, and said, well, I haven't read anything or heard anything about this. Rob hasn't told me anything about the pitch yet. Which led me to believe, I was thinking to myself now, if Rob was excited about this, wouldn't he have gone to the one that was really in charge and said, we're meeting with these people today, here's what they're pitching, here's the show, it's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. She went into this ice cold, had no inkling what this show was going to be about.
And I gulped, Anthony gulped, and, the production company we were with there, who claimed that we were so close to a TV deal, it wasn't even funny, they pretty much just had to meet us.
But the head woman there
doesn't even know
didn't have a
about
clue
this pitch.
What this was about. So now the pitch starts, and all we needed was Opie's instant replay because he has the cricket ones on because that is exactly what happened. He goes with the pitch.
The main guy on our side.
And there's the pitch.
It was kind of like that Seinfeld George thing.
I absolutely felt like I was in that fucking episode of Seinfeld. They sit down in front of the NBC.
Yeah.
And George, all proud, goes, "It's a show about nothing." And the guy running the network is like, "What? Nothing? Well, it's got to be about something." And George just sits back all confident. "Nope, nothing, nothing." And Jerry's all nervous.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's about something. No, it's not. It's a show about nothing." And everyone's just flabbergasted in the room and cannot believe that these words are coming out of this guy's mouth. And I was sitting right there in the middle of it.
We lived it. So this guy, he goes, all right, the show. It's Opie and Anthony hosting a show. It's Mythbusters meets Jackass.
There's the big pitch.
Oh. Dead silence. And Nancy goes, I wouldn't use the word jackass whatsoever. Yeah. You know how many lawsuits are pending because of that show?
Yeah, that's probably not a good selling point.
So she's taking the legs out from underneath one of her own guys?
No, this is the
guy that we were with, the production guy.
Oh, I get it.
No, he's now finally pitching A&E.
Yeah.
The A&E, those three guys are sitting at the head of the table.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, it's Mythbusters meets Jackass. And she's like, I wouldn't use the word jackass whatsoever. There's so many lawsuits pending. That show has been a complete disaster.
Yeah.
And
we have two shows, and the A&E people are like, we have two shows that are all done, ready to air, that we can't air because of lawsuits because there's too many similarities with the Jackass
And our show
concept.
is a very dangerous version of Mythbusters, let's be honest here. You know, he's talking about, like, taking a car, going 55 miles an hour and then slamming it into reverse to see what happens. All sorts of stuff that...
I didn't know there were myths about that. Isn't it more like...
Stuff like that where kids would probably try to do this at home. So now we have no pitch whatsoever. Our whole pitch has been destroyed less than 30 seconds into it.
She had just wiped it out. She took a huge sword and just hacked his legs off,
Right.
and he fell down.
No, but
and we are sitting there.
Nothing to say.
Hold on, he didn't fall down then. The bozo's not getting it at this point. He's not getting it. He goes, but Jackass was the hottest show on TV, and it made a movie.
Ixnay on the ass yay.
He goes, I'm 47. I still rent the movie with my friends and still laugh. It just continues to make. He's like this with his hands. Continues
And
to
we're
make
like,
money.
oh no, he's still going. Oh no, he's still going. Me and Opie.
And are they occasionally glancing over at the two of you like you?
Oh yeah. Well, we got the glance through the whole thing, and the most horrific glance I got was when she goes, all right, so now they're just playing it out because we can't leave after a minute.
Right.
That's embarrassing for everybody.
And unlike us, they're polite and nice.
Yeah.
Like when we're in these situations with our radio show, we're like, well, you get the fuck out of here.
Just leave.
You have no business being in here.
So
we had no
a minute,
business being in that room. But they're nice people, so they're like going to at least play with us a little bit.
She's playing out the idea. She goes, okay, so you got this thing, blah, blah, blah. She goes, so after this stunt, whatever it is, happens, how does it end? What is then the wrap
like
up?
Mythbusters, you got
is the myth true?
Or
is
false?
It false? Is it plausible? They run through their results. That's how it works. On this one, so how does it end? So she looks over at the guy that's pitching. He doesn't say anything because there is no ending. Then she looks over at me. I was instantly back in English class.
I heated up,
The
man.
teacher just asked me a question I don't know the answer to, and I sit looking, and I'm looking like, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. Please don't. I don't know how it ends. I can't even fake how it ends. I can't come up with an ending. I don't know.
So the guy, from the TV production company, he has to come up with something. So he's like, that's the beauty of it. Nothing gets accomplished at the end.
It's a show about nothing. It doesn't end.
There's no
show. Before you know it, the credit rolls.
There's no conclusion. And he's looking at Ant and I, because now he's trying to bail himself out. He's like, those guys will just do what they do best.
Do what they do.
It's how they interact with the stunt.
We do what we do.
And then she obviously goes, this is basically Mythbusters, is what you're freaking
We
pitching
do
us.
what we do. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Right.
Hey, on to the next show.
And then she goes, all right, let's go with this further, because she's...
Shh.
But now I think she's just playing with the guy like a little cat with a wounded mouse. So she has a better story to tell at the Christmas party, because she goes, okay, what do we put on the side of a bus? Because we have to promote this new show with Opie and Anthony.
She even said, she goes, I don't want to be cliche about this, but what's the side of the bus? What do we put on the side of the bus? Which is, how do you wrap it up into a bus board?
Right.
Into something that you would see drive by on the side of a bus and look at it and know what it's about.
And people would go, wow, I got to watch that show.
Gotta watch it.
She even have your two heads, and it goes, huh? Huh? This is it right here. Come on, people.
Why weren't you at the pitch with us?
That's hilarious.
Of course. Huh?
Both of us making that stupid face.
Says it all, Bill. We needed Bill Burr there.
Here's Opie and Anthony.
You might as well just have fun at that point. That's like when you're bombing in a day, like, this girl's not going to do anything with me. You just start fucking staring at her tits.
Bill, but at this point, we are bombing so bad, we have nothing to do with it. They're using us to try to get this horse shit
We
made.
were the eye candy.
Right, but I'm sitting there because I remember, like, deja vu, where we were in meetings like this and we had no radio career, and I was thinking we were back with no radio career, and then I went, oh, wait a minute, we're doing really well for XM Satellite Radio. This doesn't mean shit in the end. So then I started really enjoying
having fun with
the interaction that was going on.
At first, though, you're right. It was a flashback.
It was a flashback, like, we're losers and we have nothing.
Be in one of these meetings when you don't have a job, when you're not doing radio on a daily basis, when your future is not so bright, you don't know what's going to happen. Very up in the air. You're sitting in these meetings going, wait, this is what my life is now?
Yeah.
This is... But Ope's right. It's snapped in both of our heads. It's like, wait a minute.
We're all right.
I go to work every day.
We're all right
We got
now.
great careers. XM Satellite Radio. Oh,
You know how bad it got for us? We had to take a meeting with this production house before, like we've said many times during this conversation. We also had we took phone calls from an internet radio company, and we actually took a meeting in the middle of nowhere in Jersey with a video game company.
Dude, who was the internet guy? He was a child star. Which guy was he?
Oh no, that was another thing. The dude from Wonder Years, the older brother.
The older brother
from Wonder Years.
Yes, our career was hinging on the older brother from the Wonder Years.
He's doing internet radio now.
Doing internet radio, calling our agent.
Yeah, big fan of our show. So the lady from A&E's like, what's on the side of the bus? And then she gives us a great example.
What's on the bus?
Right. She goes,
huh?
She goes, growing up Gotti. Just, sells the show.
Sells the show. You got the graphic, you got the little diamond pinky ring looking thing, you got the Gotti name, you know what you're getting.
So she goes, growing up Gotti, what do you got for this show? And so this dude goes, what's on the box?
Yeah. Well, what I see on the side of the box is he didn't even get the bus thing right.
Opie and Anthony, and then he mentions the name of the show, which means nothing. And then she's like, guys, this is Mythbusters. It's being done like crazy all over TV. And she's letting him down lightly, but this guy is still clueless. He's like, "Well, can we come back to you? We'll work on it. We'll come at it from some different angles, and we'll rework it. And can we?"
Now you're begging.
Can we?
Now you're begging.
Can we? How many times I've said that?
Oh
really?
No, you've been there.
So he's like, "Can we have another meeting?" And she, because she's the big boss and she has the underlings with her, she goes, "Yeah, you could email Rob or Michael, and we'll see where it goes." Just not me, because she's basically saying, I'm done with you guys unless a miracle happens.
Did you see the big charm bracelet she had on?
Yeah.
She had this big charm bracelet on that was also a watch.
Yeah.
And I noticed very early on, I heard clang, clang, as she turned her watch to look at it. Like, it was like wind chimes on her watch where you couldn't miss. She was looking at her watch. So, you ever try to sneak a look at your watch and really not look like you're looking at your watch?
Yeah.
And you do something like, oh, I got a splinter or my fingernail, and you kind of can look.
Yeah.
Hers was clang, 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 clang. Look at
big charm bracelets
looking
swinging.
At her watch.
It was like,
that happened to me last year. I was paired up with this writer who I just totally misread him. A lot of writers are totally introverted. So when you go to meet and all their funny is on the page, so the fucking meetings are so awkward. But this guy, he had energy and shit, and I totally misread him. He was a fucking psycho. And before we go in there, I'm like, okay, man, I'm the comedian, so, you just kind of kick me into bounds, and I'll pitch this thing. And he goes, oh, no, I'll handle it. He goes, I am the pitch master. I swear to God he said that. This dude went in there, just grabs the reins and starts pitching this fucking idea. It was like a Tarantino movie. It's like the end came first, then the beginning was in the middle. Travolta's walking by in the background, and people are just 2 minutes into it, people are there playing with their pens.
Oh,
and
no.
I literally had to sit them down and just be like, dude, when fucking people are winding their watches and looking at something on their ankle as you're pitching this allegedly $1 million. Oh, and he started off so big. This idea is going to change television.
Wow.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
That's like when they bring you up as a comedian, this next guy. Oh, you are in for a treat, everybody. Hold on to your hats because this fucking guy. And you're just sitting there standing dude, take it down. Take it down. I got nothing. That can follow that. That's so true. Yeah, but if this guy isn't the funniest fucking guy you've ever seen, you're like, ugh. Yeah, what people don't understand, there's a lot of shit on TV. There are so many other ideas that obviously never make it to TV. That's the reality show that one of these networks should make. Is a whole show on these pitch meetings because it's so ridiculous. So anyway,
so bad. Your dream of the pitch meeting, by the way, is to go in, sit down in front of these people, pitch your show, and have them just howling. Have these jaded network people howling at your shit. Just sweating because they're laughing, enjoying it, shaking your hand, going, you come in tomorrow and we'll green light this thing. And to sit there and have them looking like dogs when you whistle at them, and they tilt their head and their ears go up. They're just staring at you is horrific.
So we're almost done. So then...
Someone said we should have broken out the Aristocrats Act.
Yeah, ta-da!
Ta-da!
So let's move on because
I'm fucking Opie, and then
we gotta hurry up the story because Richard Cheese is here with his band. They gotta play a few numbers before they get out of here. But so he's like, well, can we rework this and represent it to you? And she's being nice, like, yeah, you could email Rob or whatever. And she says, a couple weeks or whatever, maybe we could see where you're at.
Yeah.
And he goes, a couple weeks. I was hoping 6:30.
Yeah, she goes, yeah, when it was actually before she said a couple of weeks. She goes, yeah, at some point, we'll get back together and, if you can rework this and rehash it. And he goes, yeah, how about 6:30?
Not showing how desperate he is at all.
Oh, get it, right away.
That's funny.
It's like, well, a couple of weeks or
because then he's like,
never.
I bet you if we all just went to happy hour and had a few beers, you'd see it my way.
Yeah.
He's getting nothing,
Let's bring in alcohol.
Nothing.
Let's bring some alcohol into this and
were beads of sweat pouring down his. We did have flop sweat.
I couldn't look at anybody.
Anthony said he was holding back flop sweat.
I was looking at my water. I was looking at my bottle of water, my bottle of conference room table water.
Did you openly just start laughing a few times?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was uncomfortable and it was getting the best of me. I do the same thing on the radio show. I just started laughing. And nothing funny because I was just so uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So then the meeting is finally officially over, and the reason we knew it was over was they changed the subject, and Nancy goes, so, is it still nice outside? I'm like,
oh, boy.
She is now having a conversation with me that I have with my grandma.
You know when you've pitched a great idea that you'll start talking about the weather.
Yeah,
and not the idea right till you're out of the building.
Because I picture when Seinfeld was pitched and all these other great shows, everybody loves Raymond. I bet you they're talking right up to the elevator. So anyway, we'll get back together,
Yeah.
Instead, we're getting. Yeah. So is it still nice out there?
We want first shot at this. They do that.
Yeah.
First shot at this.
Yeah,
we don't talk to anybody
you're not
else.
going anywhere else.
Yeah, and they follow you all the way down. Making sure that everyone's on the same page as
they gave us
building.
directions to Spike TV.
Right. So we get the "so is it nice outside" conversation. I'm like, oh my god, we're talking about the weather.
Yeah.
So we're now in the elevator. They're gone. We said goodbye, and Michael from Telepictures, who's the guy that really gets us in our show, was cool, and he goes, "We'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch." So then we're in the elevator, and this clown that we were with the whole time, he goes, should we say what he said about it?
Oh, my God. Let's just say the woman that was in charge over there, that he had pitched this to, and she wasn't very, I don't know, she didn't find it very interesting. He had some very derogatory remarks for her when
we're in the elevator alone. He goes, did anyone else feel what I was feeling? She's a real...
I can smell your cunt.
She's a real C. Oh, but then he goes...
Oh, that's like the awful comedian just blaming the crowd.
Right.
You guys fucking suck.
No,
you do.
And so Ann and I are looking at each other. Everyone in the elevator knows it's so done. This thing is done.
It just...
Rip it.
You can't
throw it through the shredder. This
you
ain't
cannot have
happening.
Misinterpreted that meeting.
Right. The
you
elevator
can't have thought it
is
went
moving
well.
like half a mile an hour. Like it's like everyone just got raped, and you can't look at each other. You're so ashamed,
dude. So we're in the elevator, and it's so done. And the guy's like, he's so delusional. He's like, "Did you guys feel it? We are so close. We're so close.
Dude.
We'll just get back to our office. We're gonna rework this thing, and you and I and Aunt will all be in touch with emails, and we'll get back together real soon. We are so close. You guys can feel it, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, we can feel it."
The second he left you guys, he burst into tears.
You think?
Oh yeah.
No,
we're on the sidewalk, and he goes, "Yeah, I think this needs a little tweaking.
A little
tweaking, but we'll get back to it after tweaking.
This thing needs a machete to the jugular."
That's like, no, I think we'll all be fine. It just needs a little tweaking. Please get to your It would have been so funny, people. Let me tell you how funny the bit I just was going to do would have been. It would have been like, "Please get to your lifeboats, people," as the Titanic is sinking and he's saying everything's fine, like the pitch meeting, like that, but only, and coming out of this would have been really funny, but this does,
All right, get some batteries for it.
I need a new bullhorn. I need a new bullhorn. It didn't need batteries because the red light was on. There had been a constant problem with the volume knob.
I always wondered what it looked like when Carrot Top bombs.
Yeah,
Pulls out a prop that just doesn't work.
right. Just smash.
So
Pulls out the toilet seat with the toupee on it, and the toupee falls up. Well, there goes that joke. You think when you work a big casino.
Yes, Hawk, I need a new bullhorn.
Yeah,
that one broke.
I'm sure there's a toy store that's open at this hour.
That one, I need a new bullhorn.
So,
he came in with the batteries.
Too late. A little too late.
It wasn't batteries. The red power light was on. Everything. It was broken. Somebody broke it.
How many of those got busted in New Orleans? Get into the super.
So we're on the sidewalk, and he's delusional. He thinks it still has a shot, and we're like, yeah.
Yes.
We're like, yeah. And they walk off excitedly. And Aunt and I are standing on the sidewalk, and that's when we realized that there's no limo to take us back.
Yeah, it was a one-way limo trip.
And we were on the other side of Manhattan.
Completely across town.
It wasn't like, the limo actually served a purpose. It was a ride.
That's probably because the driver had a live feed of the pitch meeting. And it's just like, what? This shit is going nowhere.
I'm out of here.
It just shows you what this production company is all about. He hired a cheesy limo company to take us one way. So then Aunt and I are just laughing the whole way back to this area.
Now we're walking back. How many blocks?
We walked 30 blocks.
30 blocks we had to walk.
Blocks.
But the whole way.
Because it was rush hour, too. We don't want to jump in a cab and all that.
The whole way, though, we are fucking laughing our balls off.
We're like, it's Mythbusters with lawsuits.
With lawsuits. It's a great pitch. Oh.
So
that was the big pitch for yesterday.
A new thing we're going to attempt to do on this show is take you a little more inside with the show. This is an actual email that I wrote to our agent this morning.
I got an email from Nancy over at A&E, by the way. It just said, "Good luck, bro."
This is what I wrote to my. This is what I wrote to my our agent this morning at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I woke up in the hotel and I checked my emails. Just one email from Opie. I opened it and I got my first chuckle of the day. Thank you, Opie.
Because we're not fooling around anymore. We're just not. At this point in our careers, we're not going through this bullshit anymore. So I write, I hear that Spike TV called yesterday. When you talk to them today, do not pull
said production company,
the name of the production company that we were with yesterday at A&E, into this discussion with Spike TV. Anthony and I have no confidence that these guys can pull off a show. I'm sure Ross, who's our agent's brother, because he was at the meeting, has filled you in on the disastrous meeting we had. At this stage of our careers, we shouldn't have to be involved with lower-level production companies. Production company that we were with yesterday, I don't want to give their name out, needs us so much more than we need them. The only reason A&E took the meeting is because Michael from Telepictures now works there. We were completely embarrassed yesterday. End of story.
Larry from Jersey goes, was the limo driven by a monkey? That would have made a great TV show. Imagine monkey limo driver. I would pitch that. That's hysterical.
You'd probably
take me to
it.
59th Street. He's a fucking monkey, and he drives the limo. Da-da-da-da-da. He's a monkey. He drives the limo. I'm pitching that one.
What?
That's a great show.
What a great day. It was a great day, by the way.
Yeah, but you know what? You guys laughed.
Side of the bus.
It was a great day for us yesterday.
No-brainer.
When you guys walking up the street laughing, that's what gets you through those pitch meetings. I've been out in L.A. pitching with somebody else. And as you're bombing, and you almost, after like the third meeting you go into that you're bombing, you almost know what the hell you're going to be laughing at when you leave, so you almost start laughing
the same
the middle of it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But
everybody's been there.
we were actually talking about how horrible those were when you first did them. Like, and you'd walk out and it was serious, and you're like, oh, God, that didn't go well, did it? And you're kind of glad when you've been in it a few years and you know that, oh, my God, that stunk on ice, and you can laugh about it. It's not just like,
because we have jobs
my God,
and stuff,
my whole life just crumbled in there.
I bombed at CBS one time. I swear to God, it was like a 10-minute pitch. I was bombing so bad, I blew through it in like a minute and a half.
Oh,
my mouth is all dry, and then I'm just sitting there, and they're just staring at me. Oh, I started doing jokes for my act from like '92. You know, what's up with this crisscross, huh? These guys are crazy, and they're just like, all right, buddy, it's gonna be sunny out today, huh?
Hey,
yeah, warm. Take it easy. Fuck.
It's hilarious, man.
Shit.
It is just hilarious. So there you have it. That was our day yesterday. I hope it was entertaining for you folks out there in Radio Land.
Yeah. Why is Anthony staying at a hotel? Because I don't want to drive back to Long Island after one of those meetings in rush hour traffic, my friend. I'm a fancy man. I don't sit in traffic on the Long Island Expressway. Take that.
He wants to cry. And
he wants
room
to
service.
No, he wants to go to the fucking message board. Anthony's in a hotel. We get thrown out. What happened? The moths took over. They were sleeping in my bed. I had to leave.
There you go.